a damn good leader. You know? I mean, if you don't have a good leader, a basketball team without a good leader is... Well, basically, it's like an NFL team without a good quarterback. You know, both of those... are just... It doesn't add up. Like, you're not gonna... If you expect to win a championship without a good leader or a good quarterback, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. Alright. So back to Giannis saying... Like, honestly, I hope that this Bucks Suns thing, honestly, like, teaches teams to, like, be less super team reliant and, like, signing other stars. Like, maybe building teams through the draft is a better idea. Because look at this. Look at the Nets. I'm going to tell you right now, the Nets might win a championship or two, but this super team era with the Nets, this Nets super team is going to be done in the next 3 years. Within the next 3 years. 3 years max, alright? 3 years max, this Nets dynasty will be over. Because they have KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Those are 3 of the biggest egos in the league. KD, Harden, Kyrie. Now, Harden this year was the one that pushes the ego to the side and lead the league in assists. That was Harden. But believe me, Harden is not doing that for the rest of his career. I mean, he's not going to want to do that the rest of his career. I mean, if he's winning championships, yes. But I don't even know if they're going to win that many championships. Because they got to be healthy throughout the entire playoffs. And I don't think they can. Because I don't really trust KD to be healthy. He's kind of a wild card with that. Like, sometimes he's at the top of his game. And sometimes he's injured for like 20 games, you know? Harden, I would definitely rely most on him to stay healthy. Kyrie gets injured a lot too. So, I mean, Kyrie and KD, you know, who does that leave? Harden, you know, that's not going to win you a championship. And also, they don't have much of a bench, so that screws them over too. You know, so this, I don't really trust this Nets team much to last long. So I hope teams, like, realize that building teams through the draft sets you up for success more long term than it sets you up long term more so than just that short term success. If you're looking for that, like if you're like in LeBron's situation, then going and building a super team is fine. Like, or CP3. I mean, CP3 more so, because CP3, I imagine right now, just wants a ring. So, I mean, he can easily just... I mean, this year, he can decline a player option. You know? And he can easily just go to a big super team. I don't think he will, but he can. You know, if he's just looking for a ring, like if he just wants to walk out with a ring. The problem is, I think CP3 is too smart to not know that if he takes the easy way out for a ring, he will not get as much credit as he wants. So, and that's another reason he'll probably stay. Anyway, I don't know. I just hope... Like, it's just more entertaining when teams are built through the draft. It gives me more entertaining, like, analysis on things, because It just doesn't happen all anymore. But I think this finals could really teach something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be saying, like, oh, if KD didn't get hurt or Kyrie didn't get hurt, guess what? Kyrie gets hurt all the time. Oh, what about AD? AD gets hurt all the time. Like, LeBron and Harden don't normally get hurt, but I don't know. Alright, so, the sports world congratulated the Bucks yesterday on their, in my opinion, a great finals run. I think Giannis had one of the best performances I've ever seen. Giannis, what was his averages? 35, 13, and 5 on 60% from the field. So, I mean, LeBron, back in 2015, sorry, back in 2015, LeBron actually did this 35, I think he had 35, 13, and 8. So this was a very legendary finals performance for Giannis. I honestly enjoyed this finals. I enjoyed the playoffs, honestly. They were interesting. Like, I was interested in the playoffs the moment the Lakers were out. Well, actually, no. I was interested because I wanted to see, like, Lakers-Nets. Because that's what I thought it was going to be. But then AD and Harden, AD and LeBron got injured, so it became less interesting. But then, it became less interesting because then I was like, the Nets are going to win. Then they got out. Then it was really interesting. Once the Nets were out, it was very interesting. Because it kept me guessing because I was really unsure of what was actually going to happen. I I was wrong on a lot in these playoffs, but I couldn't have had it any other way because it was very entertaining. Like, obviously, I would have loved to be right about it, but it's more entertaining for me when I'm wrong because it's not what I expected. All right. So CP3 scored 26 in yesterday's finals, lost to the Bucks, but that was probably one of the only good performances he had. Now he has a choice this offseason. He has a literal choice. It's not like he's an unrestricted free agent. Like, he has a player option. He can either take the player option and play for the Suns, or he can just... If he declines the player option, I can only guess he's joining another team. But think about this. The Suns are basically, what they proved this year, they're already at a finals potential team. And everyone on that team is young and developing. So they're only going to get better. CP3 might not get better, but everyone else will. So everyone else is going to get better. They're already at a finals level team. So if I were CP3, I'd probably stay, but I can also see LeBron saying, like, hey, you're nearing the end of your career. If you need a championship, then if you want an easy ring, come here with me and AD. And what was the one thing you were missing against the Bucks? a big man. Sure, you have DeAndre Ayton, but we have Anthony Davis. Who's better? You know? And think about this, CB3 likes LA. And he's very tight with LeBron. So, I mean, that's another option he has. But again, I think Suns is the right choice. I think he fits well there. And I think he does a good job with the young core they have. Alright, so, I think people often mistaken, like, the face of the league and the best player in the league. I think there's a difference, actually. Like, for example, I would say, like, in the 2000s, you can argue for a while that Tim Duncan was the best player, but Kobe and, like, Shaq were the face of the league, because they were just, like, bigger personalities. You know, like, in the 70s, that's why it was awkward in the 70s, because Kareem was the best player, but he wasn't a big personality, so there was really, like, no one that was, like, the face of the league. Like, in the 80s, even though Larry Bird may have been better than Magic Johnson for a bit, Magic was always the face of the league because of his big personality. You know, but, so I'm hearing a lot of people say Giannis is now the best player in the league after that finals appearance. And, unfortunately, as a LeBron fan, it hurts to say this, but he is the best player in the league now. I would take 3 players over LeBron, probably. 2 or 3. I would take Giannis, Steph, and maybe Kevin Durant. I don't know. But unfortunately, those are the guys I take ahead of him. But I do think people should remember that LeBron is not really losing it yet. Remember, for like the first 2 months of the season, before LeBron got hurt, he was top 2 in the MVP race. Neck and neck with Joel Embiid. You know, so I think he's far from washed. But, you know, I can agree that Giannis is now the best player in the league. Alright, so, Brady says, Tom Brady said that, the team that passed on him, now this has been a discussion. I figured it would have been resolved by the time I got back, but apparently not. I've been debating this, like, my first pick was the Bears. The Bears, I didn't hear until, like, later in free agency that, Brady was interested in the Bears, but he was, so I was like, he has to be talking about Mitch Trubisky. But, like, most people were saying, like, oh, it's the Raiders, but I was like, Derek Carr is good, though. You know, and, you know, I don't know, apparently it's not the Bears, so I'm, like, confused. I don't know who he would have, like, I don't think the Chargers, like, he was interested in them. I don't think he'd say that about Justin Herbert, because no one knew how good Herbert was yet. I don't think he would have said it about Jimmy G. I don't think he would have said about... I sure as well don't think he would say it about Drew Brees. But, I'm really unsure now. I have no idea. No idea. I was so sure it was the Bears, but... this is confusing now. Alright, so, I was in favor of the 12-team playoff. You heard my reasons. You know, I think it's a good opportunity for the college players